Becky and today I'm going to be doing another book haul for you. This month I was actually quite good in that I didn't get too many books. So one of them, the first book that I actually hauled was this bad boy. Oh god, it's so heavy. Ooh. So if you haven't watched my unboxing video, I actually ordered them last month, but they came in this month and I really loved them. They are beautiful editions of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. They're all illustrated by Alan Lee and all the appendices are in the back of Return of the King. They are, oh, I'm gonna have to put them down actually. Let's just put them back up there. That is not gonna be the home for them. I need to figure out where on the shelves they're gonna fit. However, I did really love them. I love The Hobbit and I love The Lord of the Rings, so I'm really excited that I have these editions because they have such beautiful artwork in them and I really wanted to reread them despite already having editions here. And they were kind of a treat to myself because I got my work bonus and I got a tax rebate, so what are you gonna do? The next book I got was Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. We did some kind of swapping in my friendship group, which allowed me to get a paper copy because I don't really like hardbacks that much. And I haven't read it yet, but I've heard really good things. A lot of my friends all said they really liked reading it, so I'm hoping I do too. I've also been told to not read up about what it's about because it's better to go in blind, so that's what I'm doing. I haven't read up about it. I'm just gonna read it and hopefully enjoy it. Then the last physical book I got this month was Seven Devils by Laura Lamb and Elizabeth May. You may have already seen me saying how much I loved reading this, and I've already read an ebook version, but I was very kindly sent this by Galanx as a hardback copy, and it's just a beautiful cover, and it's really nice to have a copy because I did really enjoy it and I really loved the characters. If you like sci-fi, you like strong female characters, and you like plots that are very focused on relationships and developing friendships and found family, you'll probably love this book. I also managed to get 2 books on my Kindle, and these were both very kindly sent to me by the authors, and I've read both of their previous books in the series as well. First book I got was Icer by L.L. McNeil. I really loved the World of Lunaria series and I think this is the 4th book in it. Please do correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, Lauren. And she sent me the 4th book and I'm really hoping I enjoy it because I really love Icer as a character. I've loved her in all the previous books and hopefully this book really focuses in on her issues and what's going on in her kind of point of view. And then the other book I got sent was by Kaitlyn Davies and that is The Hunter and the Mage. This is the 2nd book in the Raven and the Dove duology or series. I'm not quite sure, I can't remember. Actually no, it's definitely a series. I believe there's 4 books and I'm really excited to read it because after the first book very much set up our characters and the world building and kind of the basis for what's going on. I'm really hoping the 2nd book brings all of this together and kind of everything's more out in the open because there are things that we knew but that the characters didn't, and there was lots of questions I had at the end of the 1st book and I'm just really excited to read the 2nd one now. And then I did also get quite a few books from NetGalley, so with my book hauls I'm going to do a NetGalley haul as well because I need to keep myself accountable for all the books that I request and forget that I've requested and then get accepted for. So the first book I got was Hush by Dylan Farrow. I cannot remember what this book is about at all. This book is a YA fantasy novel and I don't know much about it. I haven't really heard much about it either. I really apologise if what my explanation of it is going to be wrong. So from what I can tell, it's a YA fantasy book which follows our main character. Our main character has lost her brother to something called the Ink years ago, and recently she's came home and found her mother murdered by a dagger that is only ever used by the bards. She then travels to this place which is where the bards are trained, and she is told that she can become a bard and therefore she does, but this might get in the way of her plans of avenging her mother and finding out all these secrets. In this world as well, magic is kind of in the language that can be used as long as you are a teller, which if you're a teller you can become a bard, I believe. And there's a disease called the Ink, which is kind of maybe reading or writing or something like that. A lot of the magic seems to be surrounded by communication, so I'm interested to see how it goes. The next book I got from NetGalley was Golden Fury by Samantha Cohoe. I was instantly drawn into this book at the mention of alchemy and the Philosopher's Stone. In this book, the main character and her mother have found or developed the Philosopher's Stone, and there's a curse attached to it, as with many mythology about it, and it turns people insane. And there's people after the stone and no one's really believing that it has a curse on it, and I'm just really intrigued to read it. Apparently it's YA fantasy, but it's also got lots of historical fiction elements, and I'm just really interested in the entire premise of it. I then got Fable by Adrienne, which is on my TBR for next month. I also got To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Paolini, that is also on my TBR next month. Fable is about our main character who enlists the help of West to get across the sea to her father, who has left her on this island after her mother died, and it's kind of, I guess, an adventure on the seas, and it feels very piratey to me, although I don't know if it involves pirates. Do not quote me on that. To Sleep on a Sea of Stars is a space opera where our main character uncovers an alien artifact which can possibly change the entirety of humanity as we know it. I was mainly interested because I read Aragorn when I was younger, and I'm really interested to see how he writes sci-fi and whether he's continuing to write as he used to. The next book I picked up from NetGalley was The Orb and Arrow by V.L. Stuart, and I cannot remember why I requested this, but I've read the blurb. It really doesn't tell you much information, but in this world there's mages, but if they wear a dimlock, which is like a chain, it cancels all their powers, and our character is trying to remove or achieves removing this dimlock, and a lot of chaos ensues. I will see how this goes. I don't know if I probably requested this on one of my request binges. I just tried to pick up loads of things that interest me, but I don't believe that was the blurb that I initially read when I requested it, so we'll see. The next two books that I requested were The Witching by Alexis Henderson and Every Sky a Grave by J. Posey, which are both on my TBR next month, and I'm really excited to read both of them. So one is a sci-fi, one is a fantasy, similar to all the other books on this list. The Witching is a book about a character who is finding out more about witches and these secrets that the church is telling them about witches, and it's a little bit historical fiction, it's a little bit horror, and I'm just really intrigued by the premise. Every Sky a Grave is a sci-fi again, and I'm really into sci-fi at the moment. I've been reading more and more, and I'm just enjoying it quite a lot. But Every Sky a Grave follows our main character, who used to be an agent who would make planets conform to the authorities' wishes, but has learnt some things and she may not be conforming herself anymore. And I'm just really interested to see how that goes. The next book I got accepted for was Cursed by Tom Wheeler. I definitely requested this because there's now a Netflix show and I wanted to read the book, but I can't really say much more than that. I need to both read it and watch the show. I'm probably going to try reading it and then watching it and seeing what the differences are, and I'll probably do a review comparing the two as well, so keep looking forward to that. The next book I got was The Door of Eden by Adrian Tchaikovsky. The main reason I picked this one up was because him and Paolini are having kind of a virtual meetup today actually when I'm filming it, and I meant to be joining in, and I was like, well, I don't want to just read one of them, I want to read both of them so I have all the information. I obviously have not gotten around to reading either of these books yet, so it was kind of a ambitious target for me when I requested it, but I am going to read it. I don't know anything about it, but hopefully I'll find out more today. I also got The Crow Rider by Kalyn Josephson. I've already read it, I've already reviewed it, I really enjoyed it. I don't feel too bad about this one because I have already read it. I've already reviewed it on NetGalley, so it's not hitting my ratio, which is bad. So I'm happy with that. Another book I got was the Icer Falcon, which is Ikessar Falcon, I'm not sure, by K.S. Villosso. I've read the first book, The Wolf of Oren, not that long ago. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the world building. I loved our main character. and the first book perfectly set up the second book, so we kind of know what's going to happen. I don't want to spoil it for you, but if you haven't read the first book, you should, and if you want to read the second book, you should. So yeah, that is last month's book haul. I managed to get 12 books on NetGalley to read, which is bad since I'm only reading 5 books a month. I also got 5 books not from NetGalley, so they're probably going to also need to be read at some point too. I'm doing a lot better than last month when I got like, what is it, 20 or 30 books, so I'm not too bad, and some of them I've already read, such as like The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and The Crow Rider. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you read any of these books, please do let me know what you thought of them. Tell me which books I should be reading first. Tell me which books maybe I shouldn't be reading at all. Let me know. I love to hear what other people think of books before I read them as well. And if you want to read any of those books with me as buddy read, let me know as well, because I'd love to try that. And thank you for watching. I hope to see you again soon.